on r/MaliciousCompliance today. No water allowed, holy cosplay activated, and a uniform rebellion no one saw coming. Let's begin.
I'm not allowed to drink on shift? Got it. So I work at a restaurant as a waiter part-time, usually 2 to 3 shifts a week, 9 to 5 or 4 to finish. And 4 nights ago, we had 2 tables with over 20 guests at each one. There were also several walk-ins, and we were extremely understaffed. Loads of staff had taken that 4 to finish shift off for some unknown reason. Anyways, I was the most experienced waiter there, as it was mostly new starts working. And apart from me, my manager was probably the most senior member of staff there. I'm 17, and I've been working there since I was 15. I'm in the UK, so it's fine for me to be working at this age. I was tasked with taking a food order from one of the tables. I went up, took the order, and put it into the tills. I then went to drink from the water bottle, which I had filled at the start of my shift, and my manager told me, "You're not allowed to drink on shift. It's far too busy. Put it down." So I put my drink down. The next day, I came in for my 9 to 5 shift, and I didn't drink. Then today, I came in for my 9 to 5 shift again, and I didn't drink. My supervisor noticed that I didn't even have my drink bottle with me and asked why, and I told him, "Oh, manager's name told me I couldn't drink on shift, so I don't see the point in bringing a water bottle anymore." The supervisor said, "That's not right. You're allowed to have a drink at work. It's a basic human right. I'll have a chat with HR about this." Anyways, I just received a message from my manager basically saying that he's sorry for telling me I'm not allowed to drink and that he was wrong. My supervisor also texted me saying that he embarrassed the manager in front of the whole management team and the owner of the restaurant, as the manager had been giving the waiters questionable advice for the past while, and apparently the owner wasn't happy with him at all. I hope he learned his lesson not to tell me I can't drink. I'm not dehydrating myself for a minimum wage job. I'll drink when I want, whether I'm on the beach or in the restaurant.
You know what gets me? This manager really woke up and said, what if I banned water? Like hydration is some luxury spa treatment. And our waiter boy did not fight back. He went full dry desert mode. Showed up the next day like, "No water? Yes, chef." Then the supervisor finds out and instantly goes into human rights mode. I swear he probably drafted that HR email with steam coming out of his ears. And the manager getting roasted in front of the entire leadership team? Oh, that's delicious. That's Michelin star karma. Lesson of the day: never underestimate a teenager armed with petty compliance and a dusty throat. Next up, someone gets dress coded at church and responds with level 100 biblical drama.
Dress more appropriately for church. Sure, I'll follow the rule, literally. A couple of years ago, I joined a small but tight-knit church community. Everyone was pretty relaxed. People came in jeans, dresses, even t-shirts sometimes, especially at youth services. No one was disrespectful, just comfortable. I usually wore long skirts or dress pants and nice tops, nothing flashy and definitely nothing revealing. But apparently, that wasn't churchy enough for one particular elder, an older woman. After service one day, she pulled me aside and said, with that sweet, fake smile, "Sweetheart, I just wanted to encourage you to dress a bit more appropriately. We should always look our best for the Lord." I was confused. I asked what exactly was inappropriate about my outfit: a long navy skirt, a tucked-in blouse, and flats. She said, "It's not bad, but, not quite holy attire. Maybe think about what you'd wear if Jesus was sitting in the front row." The next Sunday, I showed up in my most over-the-top church outfit: full floor-length choir robe, white gloves, a wide-brimmed hat with a fake bird and a little veil, Bible in hand, stockings, low heels, and pearls. I looked like I was either about to preach, get baptized, or time travel back to 1954. But people stared. One usher asked if I was part of the clergy now. Someone whispered, "Is she in a play?" And bless her heart, the elder gave me a stunned little nod when I sat close to her and said, "You look very reverent today." I said, "Thank you. I figured this is how Jesus would want me to show up." Next week, back to my usual outfit. Never got a comment again.
This elder really told her to dress more appropriately. And our girl said, "Say less. Let me put on my final boss outfit." She pulled up on Sunday looking like she's hosting a 1954 revival tour. Choir robe, pearls, a hat with a whole bird. Sis said, "If I'm dressing for Jesus, he's getting a show. The reactions? Chef's kiss. People whispering like, is she clergy now? And the elder? Just sitting there like she accidentally created a fashion monster. And best part, after that holy cosplay event, never heard a peep from her again. That's how you end a problem. Not with conflict, but with theatrics. Up next, a mom, a sewing needle, and a dress code that never stood a chance.
That time my mom upended the dress code for my entire school. When I was little, my mom sent me to a private, religious school. My family isn't religious, but they felt like I'd get a better education there. And when I switched to public school later, I found they were right. I was pretty far ahead. This school had uniforms. Boys wore button-down shirts with the school logo and blue slacks, and girls wore jumpers. My mom hated cleaning and ironing these white button-down shirts every day. I was one of 4 kids. Kids play and get grass stains. The shirts were taking up a lot of her time. Finally, she gave up and bought a bunch of white polo shirts and started sending us to school in bows. Admin had a conniption fit about it and brought her in for a meeting. They opened the dress code rulebook and pointed out that these shirts were missing the logo, so they were in violation. My mom looked over the rules and confirmed that the lack of a logo was the only violation. They said yes. She thanked them and left, and the school probably thought it was over. Just to be petty, they sent a school-wide memo regarding the dress code. My mom took every polo shirt and stitched a homemade school logo onto them. It wasn't hard to do as the logo was just the school initials. Admin was furious, but during the next meeting realized their hands were tied. The memo piqued the curiosity of other parents, and they started asking my mom where she got the new school shirts. Apparently, she wasn't the only one sick of ironing and getting grass stains. Suddenly, I wasn't the only one wearing a polo shirt to school. The worst part for the school was that, despite tuition being pretty expensive, they also had a kickback deal going with a local clothing store for the uniforms. The store had a monopoly on the sale of those shirts. When business started lagging, the store made their own version of the polos for sale. Eventually, the original shirts were phased out entirely. That was over 30 years ago, and my mom still loves telling that story.
This mom didn't just comply. She speed ran a revolution. She looked at those white button-downs, looked at her laundry pile, and said, absolutely not. So she sends her kids in polos. School freaks out. Then she shows up with homemade embroidered logos like, oh, don't worry, I fixed your little problem. And admin's face was probably doing the Windows error sound. Meanwhile, other parents saw the polos and instantly unlocked a new level of freedom. Wait, we can do that? Suddenly, the whole school's in polos, and the uniform store is crying in the supply closet. This wasn't malicious compliance. This was a hostile takeover by a tired mom. And honestly, queen behavior. Now you tell me, if your mom did this, would she brag about it for 30 years too? Because mine would absolutely frame the receipt. And that wraps up today's perfectly legal chaos on r/MaliciousCompliance. If those cold, calculated comebacks hit the spot, give that thumbs up button a lil love. Got opinions? I know you do. Drop them in the comments. I read everything, even the spicy ones. And hey, if you haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Hit that button and turn on the bell so you never miss another snarky saga. I'll see you in the next one. It's gonna be wild. Bye!